Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to share with you a recipe for a Kifla sandwich bread. It's an old European recipe mostly found in the Central Europe that's also thought to be a predecessor to a French croissant. But this in fact is a bread, mini bread. It's perfect to make during this time of year when people are going back to work or back to school. It makes for a batch of 12 mini breads that you can easily freeze and then pop in the oven whenever you're ready to have a freshly baked gourmet sandwich to take to work or to school. I think we're all kind of past the boring squares and triangles we call sandwich breads. I think it's time to switch it up. If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe. Alright, so let's get going. We will need a big mixing bowl into which we will pour 525 milliliters of lukewarm milk. To this we will add 1.5 tablespoons of sugar. Mix well and then add 2 teaspoons of yeast. We're gonna cover it and wait 3 to 5 minutes for yeast to develop. If your yeast is not super fresh, you can just leave it a little bit longer, that's totally fine. One thing that's really important to remember in every recipe is to never let the salt touch the yeast before the yeast has been developed or dissolved in water or milk or any other substance. Salt can stunt the growth of yeast, so you may end up with tiny little capsules of underdeveloped yeast all throughout your dough. You really don't want that. After a couple of minutes has passed, stir the milk and yeast mixture and weigh and add 750 grams of flour. We will next add 2 teaspoons of salt and mix everything well until it's incorporated. Lightly knead the dough until it all comes together. Cover it with plastic foil and a towel, or just a towel, and let it sit for about 10 minutes. After 10 minutes has passed, you will notice the dough has slightly grown, although still firm. You can put the dough on the board and knead it 3 to 5 minutes just to ensure that gluten has started to develop. Place the dough back in the bowl and cover it with a plastic foil and a towel. Making Kifla sandwich bread made me feel a little bit nostalgic about my own back-to-school days. I still remember how I used to wrap school books into fresh, crisp white paper and then do my own drawings and illustrations on it. So I kind of decided to do it again. Alright, let's have fun while we're waiting for the dough to rise. Choose the book to wrap and roughly cut the paper to size. Mark all the edges, including where the book spine is, and measure out 2.5 centimeters or 1 inch away from the corner edges. Connect the dots and cut the paper down to size. Now focus again on the book spine, as this is where you want to make 2 bigger marks, but cut only into 1 for now. Lean the book against the support while you fold the edges on one side, paying attention that the cut lines up with the book's spine. Fold the paper along the edges, and then do a triangular fold by pushing the corner in, and then taping it in place. Repeat the process on the other 2 corners, making sure to fully close the book before you move on to the other side, in order for everything to perfectly line up. Cut off the end at the book spine, and the blank book covers are now ready for your art. Okay, so now that the hour has passed, let's get going and making fabulous Kifla sandwich bread. After an hour, the dough has nicely risen. Take it out onto the board and cut it into 2 equal halves. Weigh each half to make sure they're the same size. Next, cut each half into 6 smaller pieces, and make sure to weigh them accurately. They should each weigh slightly less than 100 grams. Very lightly knead each piece to form a uniform ball. And now the Kifla fold. Lightly stretch the dough, watching not to tear it. And then fold one edge into the center and then the other edge over it. Turn it around and grab the bottom part of the roll and then stretch it all the way out and over. both edges again meet in the center of the roll, one over the other. Then turn the roll, seams down, and knead it to form a smooth ball. When kneading the ball, make sure to push with your palm and pull back very lightly with your thumb. Let the little balls of dough rest on the surface and cover them with a cellophane wrap and a towel. And let them sit another 15 minutes. Once the 15 minutes has passed, we can start flattening those balls gently with a rolling pin. You will probably find that the gluten will be too strong, and then the dough will be constantly pulled into a smaller size. Once they're all flattened, let them rest for another 10 minutes.
Give me that cheddar, we getting Rico. Big money rolls like burritos. Give me that hot sauce, no pico. Give me that, give me that, give me that. Give me that. Give me that.
And now we get to do the fun part. Place the parchment paper on top of a regular-sized baking sheet and lightly oil it. Again, we will flatten our pieces of dough with a rolling pin into long, roughly rectangular shapes. Now that the gluten had 10 minutes to relax, the dough is more stretchy and malleable. Next, we will gently roll the dough with both hands, from the bottom edge up, into the final Kifla shape. Make sure that the seam is always facing down. Place all of the rolls on the baking sheet. Cover them and let them rest for another 60 minutes so they can fully rise. I was also inspired by this book. This is my mom's old French dictionary. It's actually her first dictionary that she got from her dad when she was a very little girl. And this book is from the 50s. I love how each era has its own unique style of illustration, so I pulled inspiration from it.
Think I got the chance, and I ain't gonna waste it.
Okay, I'm ready to find my inspirational image. I lightly outlined my drawing with the pencil, and then I used a selection of watercolors to match my inspirational image. And here's the important part. When using the marker to outline the drawing, make sure that the two don't match. The 50s print was such that very often the block of color would be misaligned to the outline. This was due to the so-called offset way of printing. And that's what makes this drawing very 50s-like. Next, I moved on to the lettering, which is a very gentle, optimistic-looking font of the 50s with beautiful cursive S's and R's. And again, I outlined it with a pencil and went over it with a marker. I added a couple of more drawings to this and other books to make these illustrations really my own. And voila! 60 minutes of wait just flew by. Okay, we can now preheat the oven to 200 degrees Celsius or 400 Fahrenheit. Next, we'll need milk, or you can use butter or oil, as a glaze for our mini sandwich breads before we put them in the oven. After 25 minutes in the oven, here's the beautiful result. So soft, and the smell is just divine. Glaze them again with milk for the extra sheen. And now let's make some gourmet sandwich combinations. You can use homemade pesto with good quality prosciutto, or you can combine mayo, prosciutto, spinach and tomato, followed by freshly grated parmesan cheese. Or my favorite, simple non-salted butter, apricot jam, in combination with thick slices of sharp, aged, good quality cheddar cheese. And there's so many other options. If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, please post them below. I will be posting a new video about bread and art every Thursday. Till then, bye!